Welcome to On Writing with Ungarabile Mukoto, the show that is aiming to promote reading and writing in our communities. We seek to restore pride and our voices through the power of reading and writing. Ladies and gentlemen, help me to welcome Mr. Lawrence Sithole, who is here today to share more on book cover design. Mr. Lawrence, thank you so much, sir, for coming to our show.
No, thank you so much for having me.
Yes, once again, we are here to talk about your favorite topic.
Yes.
You have done 90% of my books.
Yes,
Yes, you are the one the man behind my book covers. Some people don't know that.
Yeah.
This today I'm giving you that free advertisement.
Yeah.
And you also do for yourself.
Yeah.
And then some you did for your mentors, Amanda and Samuel Baloyi.
Yeah.
Tell me about your journey. Where did you start? The love for this.
So basically, my journey with design in general has been a funny one. Long story short, I had a friend who wanted free church posters, so that's how I got into the whole thing of design. So she was like, I want a church poster. I tried doing one for her via Microsoft PowerPoint because I was just like, this is just a little thing that I can do for church. And when I did that, she was like, oh, okay, this is actually good. What about you put in more time to actually get to understand how this works? So I spent some time trying to hone that skill, and then I, of course, learned the proper softwares, being the Adobe softwares, because the industry standard. I learned how to use those, and then bit by bit, I moved from posters, logos, book covers, layout and typesetting, and every other thing that I do today.
Okay, and the one that now you're doing the most, which I personally have seen you doing it for me, is the book cover design.
Yes.
Tell me about that. How have been it for you?
Book cover design is nice. It's something that I enjoy to do, in a sense that it gets to live long. You see, when you do a poster, most of the time it's the short span is very limited. Yes. People will ask you to do a poster 3 weeks before the event. After the event, they forgot about it. Yeah. But when you're working on books, the work that you do on books tend to transcend time for a long time, because people, you can find that you're selling a book for about 2 years, and even after that 2 years, you can find that it's still available somewhere. So the work that you do with book covers is something that allows you to do something that stands the test of time. And maybe one day when I'm dead, somebody will take some work and it's on the credit. Oh, it's actually my grandfather who designed this book cover.
Yes,
So
exactly, yeah.
I enjoy that in terms of that. It gives an opportunity to be creative. It's a little more demanding than other stuff like creating posters. Because you need to create something that's timeless, because it has to live beyond 3 months, it has to live beyond 3 weeks. So it's something that is taxing in terms of creative output, but it's good. I enjoy it a lot.
Okay. Now tell me about the statement that we grew up hearing: don't judge book by its cover.
You see, I like that statement, and I like it a lot because it's one of the greatest lies ever told, right? I tend to think of it this way. So when I was first introduced interested in issues of the heart, I met some young women that I liked, and then I was like talking to some people. Okay, there's this person that I'm interested in, and people will give me advice to say that don't look at the looks, but then you should look at the heart of the girl.
Yeah.
Now imagine you are trying to find a partner, and you're in a room full of people trying to search for the heart of a person. I'm sure you can imagine how difficult that is, right? Because the thing that you see first before all is actually the looks of a person. That's what attracts you to actually get to know the person, the personality, the heart. And I think it's the very same thing with a book. The very first encounter that you have with a book is with a book cover. So that's the very first thing that you see, whether it's on a bookshelf or it's on social media or whatever. What it is that attracts you to say, oh, let me see how this thing actually goes. I'm interested enough to actually understand the heart of this book. Is actually the cover of the book. So it's a lie to say that books are not judged by covers. Human beings are judged by how they look. Book covers are judged by how they look, because as human beings we are highly visual people. So it's a lie that books are not judged by their covers.
Are you saying
so? That's the very first thing that you see, whether it's on a bookshelf or it's on.
Yes,
the very first selling point of a book is a book cover.
Say, oh,
imagine we're walking in a shop.
Books
don't have a voice to shout, hey, read me, I have great contact. The art is very good. No, it does not happen like that. What happens is you are busy working there on a bookshop, and then the very first thing that you see is the book cover. Then you go like, oh, that's interesting. Maybe the content will be something that aligns with what I'm looking for.
So tell me, Mr. Lawrence, I hear and I agree with you. How can you advise authors to actually put more effort or investment on book covers?
Here's how I look at it. I know that for most authors, especially the self-publishing ones, finances are a problem, right? So in most cases, you want to bypass certain things and say, okay, maybe the cover, that does not really matter. But fact of the matter is, that investment that you put into a cover can turn into more sales for you, right? Because it's something that becomes a selling point. When people see the book cover, they go like, okay, I want to buy this. So you should not be in a place whereby you bypass things such as that. Take some time, save up some money, get a good graphic designer that will do something for you that will stand the test of time. Because that will actually help you in selling your book. Yeah. Instead of just going like, I just want to put it out there, because it's no use putting a book out there that will not sell.
Exactly.
Because that becomes an exercise that is highly egocentric, because it means you just wanted to become an author. But if you want to get your book out there and make sure that it's of good quality, you need to invest in these things. Get a good graphic designer to create something that will actually grab the eyes of people, grab the attention of people to make sure that it sells.
You know, it's so amazing that I myself have came across book covers that I didn't like.
Yeah.
And I just turned off when I see the cover, you know. And sometimes you realize that the book inside is very, you know,
yes.
is very important.
Yes.
There's a message there, you know, it's very, very good. But because of the cover, you end up not actually even getting the message that you have to get. So I agree with you that, you know, we need to really invest on that. Let's talk about the one of, you know, I know you like this one.
You gotta get me down.
Many authors like to put their face on the front page. You know, normally we know that you see your picture at the back of the book. But nowadays, many self-published authors especially, they like to put their face on the book. You know, why are you doing that? Let's talk about that.
Okay, so disclaimer here, I'm not fighting with anybody because I have a personal beef with whoever. This comes from a place of observation, right? So first of all, let's look at book covers, because some people just see these things and then they copy them. Let's look at book covers that actually have the pictures of the author on them to say, what was the reason behind that? In most cases, when somebody puts their picture on the cover, it's because they are a big deal, they are a big brand. So they're not necessarily selling the book, but they're using themselves, their brand, as a selling point. That's why someone like T.D. Jakes will put his own picture there, because he knows that even if someone is not a reader, if they see his picture there because they are familiar with who he is, they will become interested in actually reading the book. So he knows that he's using that as a marketing tactic to actually reach a wider audience. Now, that is actually the same problem. That's what creates the problem. You are a suku from Nyabani known by 5 people. You put your picture there. Which audience are you trying to appeal to? That when they see your picture, they'll go like, we want to buy this book. I know I'm handsome, but I don't think I'm that handsome to sell a book, to say, this guy is handsome, so I'm just going to buy his book, right? So I think we need to look at it from that perspective to say, why do you want to put your picture on the front cover of your book, right? Because people who do it are doing it to sell the book. So if you have someone who's not known by many people, you don't have a big brand and whatever, I advise against that. Here is what I always say for everybody. If you are not someone that is that known and you are trying to do a book, the best thing for you to do is do a book cover that communicates the content of the book. Because that's what you are trying to sell. You are not that big of a brand, so you cannot use yourself as a selling point. You need to use the content that you're writing as the selling point, isn't it? So if, for example, you're going to write a book about finance, maybe you're talking about savings, if you use something like a pig bank's illustration or a picture on the front of your cover, someone who's busy looking for a book, if they see that, it clicks in their mind because they know that a pig bank is associated with saving or finance. If they are looking for a book that is talking about finance, they are likely to look at your book and give it a shot. As compared to you just put your picture there and they look at it, they're like, who is that guy?
Sometimes you'll just, judge your features. Oh, he has a big
the nose is too big. I can't buy this book. Yes, but that's my point with to say, in most cases, we need to be, we need to understand why we do the things that we do. So, for some people, the reason why I have beef with them is it's an egocentric thing, right? It's an egocentric action. You want to put your face on the book cover because you want to feel good, right? That's why sometimes self-publishing is called vanity publishing, right? To say that it's publishing that can be in vain, to say that it's something that people are doing just to make themselves feel good about themselves, to say, oh, I am an author, or I've got a book. It's not that they've got something good to say, it's not that they've got content that is compelling. So it's just that to say, we should not be egocentric, because if we're egocentric, we are not progressing the green culture that we're trying to do. We are not portraying the message that we're trying to portray. So be very clear about that to say, why do you want to put your picture there? A South African celebrity that you can think of that's prominent, they can probably put their picture there because when you're in the bookshop and you're busy working and you see their picture, you know them, you recognize them, you want to know their life story, you want to read what they have to say. That's why you put your picture there. So if you are not known, why then do you put your picture there?
You know, and it's very true. I mean, I had an opportunity of working at a bookshop.
Yeah.
And I've seen what you are saying. I remember there was this lady who came to the bookshop, and then she saw the book Oya Bonang Mateba, you know, and obviously the picture there, Bonang is Bonang. And the title is not that catchy. It's from point A to point B.
Yes.
It's not very catchy, you know. But because of the face that is there, you know, the book is a selling book.
Yes. Yes.
You know, and the lady bought the book on the spot because she saw Bonang Mateba.
Yes.
I believe if she only saw from A to, you know, she was not going to be really, but because of the picture, and that person is a brand, it's a big brand.
Yes.
You know, and so I hear what you're saying. Now, for them, okay, I've heard one saying, but what if in my community they know me?
That's the thing. Do you want to limit your sales of your books to your community? That's the question. If that's your primary intention to say that I just want to sell to the 100 people in my community, of which if you look at sales, marketing, they say that if there's if you just look at numbers, if there's 100 people that you're trying to sell to, the likelihood that only 10 people will buy is very high. So for me, the thing that I say is this. If you say that you just want to, it's because people in my community know me, do you then want to limit the sales of your book to the people in your community? Right? You know, like something that's interesting is this. You know, a book can be published in South Africa, and when you sell the rights to maybe an international publisher, like in the US, you actually change the book cover.
Yeah.
Do you know why they change the book cover? It's for that reason to say that a book cover is a sales mechanism. So in the American market, the book cover that was created in South Africa might not be something that resonates with the market in America. So we need to create a book cover that will resonate with the people in America. So that's basically what I'm saying to say. Your book is a selling mechanism. So don't limit yourself when you're creating the cover of your book. Right? So when you create and put your picture and you say it's because the people in my community know me, then you're limiting yourself to your community. Whereas it's possible that your book will sell more even outside your community, isn't it?
Yeah.
And judging by how people complain to say there's no finance for these things, it's very few people that can afford to create a book cover for their community and create a book cover for outside their community. So why not make that good investment to create a book cover that has nothing to do with your ego, but has everything to do with what the book is about and selling the book outside there?
So, Mr. Swale, I mean, you know, if someone is watching the show now and is hearing you saying this, okay, someone will think, this man is just jealous. He doesn't want to see me. He doesn't want to see me on the picture there, you know. Okay, when is that? Okay, but I think you have answered this. I wanted to ask, when is the right time to actually put your face there? But I think you have answered when you talk about branding. But I don't know if maybe you want to add something there because I wanted to ask that. But I didn't realize that you have answered it. When is the right time to actually put your picture on there? Maybe, or which, the third book, fourth book, fifth book, when is the right time?
I would say that perhaps when you are now a household brand, you know what they mean to say you're a household brand, you're somebody that if you got into a home and asked to say that, do you know Onkarabile, people will say, we know that guy. Perhaps when you are a household brand like that, but also, let's not make that mistake that different kinds of books, I would be so disappointed to find someone putting their picture on the front of a book, on a book cover for a novel. I don't see how it makes sense. Even the greatest writers that are well known, like your Toni Morrison and stuff like that, they hardly put their own pictures because they don't need to, right? They are writing novels and stuff like that. So, to answer your question though, a right time to actually put your picture will probably be when you are a household brand name, but in my opinion, there's absolutely no need to put your picture. Just do a good book cover design and put it out there and sell it. Leave your ego out of it and give the content to the people. Give the people what they want.
Mr. Story, so if I come to you as a client and I want my picture there, are you not going to do it for me because I pay you?
My thing is this. When most times people come to me and they ask for design on specific things, I have the responsibility to say that I need to make you aware of this information. But at the end of the day, I don't take the decision. You are the one who takes the decision. You are the client. My job is to make you happy. In actual fact, I think there have been designs that I've done that I didn't really like, but I did them because that's what clients were asking of me. Right? I'll do something. Sometimes you find that I do concepts, right? Give you concepts, and I'm like, I like this one better. Probably will sell and all of that. Then a client says, I don't want this one, I want this one, but then you must change it to 1, 2, and 3. In fact, that in my mind, I'm stretching my head and be like, but are you sure? But because you are the client, at the end of the day, I need to do stuff that makes you happy, regardless of whatever I think is professional and all of that.
No, that's very true. Mr. Sole, if people want to get hold of you so that you make them happy as clients, where can they get hold of you?
So basically, I'm everywhere on social media. And Nsuku Sithole will probably give you my social media handles and all of that. But alternatively, you can send me an email at sitholelawrence22@gmail.com, or just Google Sithole Lawrence. It will probably bring up all of my stuff on social media.
Mr. Sole, thank you so much for your presence. A very important topic. I think we must engage more on this because many of us don't really take this seriously. So thank you so much for coming, and thank you for sharing such information.
No, thank you for having me, myself.
Ladies and gentlemen, you are watching On Writing with Unkarabile Mukoto, the show that is aiming to promote reading and writing in our communities. Do subscribe to our channel